It was a white woman on, yes, I do watch Killer Women and Deadly Women that comes on the Investigation Discovery Channel. But it was a woman.
Hold on,
she was
before you go any further.
What?
You gotta find a motherfucker to kill before you start watching this shit.
Shut up.
You can't be single watching shit like that if you ain't got nobody to kill.
So she was a single woman. She had a son. He was like 8 or 9. You know, she held him close to her, but you know, they said she was a good mom. You know how they try to shit on people normally when they fuck up? She was white, of course, so no, they said she was a good mom. She did have her side life. After she would get her son down, her motorcycle friends would come over. They would do whatever they did. I don't know if it was just weed or whatever they would do. She made sure her son was always taken care of. Her son wanted to go to this Christian camp. It was a Christian camp, I guess for a weekend or something. Well, she was kind of reluctant. Her son was like, you know, I really, really want to go. So she was like, you know, it can't be too much harm. Let's him go. Well, in the meantime, this fucking pedophile just gets released from prison from 3 months for molesting another child. This had to be like maybe in the 70s or 80s. I don't even remember the exact date. So he gets released. He goes and applies at this Christian camp as a cook. Swindles his way on in there. So this little boy comes. He's there. He singles him out, pulls him away, takes him in the woods, and does ungodly things to this young man. Okay, so a whole year goes by. The mom just was noticing things was wrong with her son. He was having nightmares. He would ask her to stay in his room. He was just acting weird. And he finally came out and told her this man did nasty, dirty things to me. Went to the police station. Comes out, this man had molested 3 other little boys that weekend at this Christian camp. Okay, so they end up going to court. They go to court over and over. It finally comes down to sentencing day. One little boy comes out and was just burling, and the mom and the child were crying to where something snapped in this woman's head and was like, he's gonna walk scot-free. She went to her car, got her pistol, walked up to him as he's sitting up there, how you gotta face the judge and you're sitting next to your lawyer with his hands still in shackles, and shot this nigga, emptied the clip on him in the head to where his face fell down, hit the table, and she was still shooting him. She got 10 years.
This happened in court?
Yes. I think it was worth it. You don't think that was worth it? Your son has to walk around bearing this his whole life. And he wasn't like too young to not remember. He was at that age where you start to remember everything, and that's impacting on your life. It's going to mold you as a person. So I feel like that might improve your child's spirit to know that this person is not walking around here doing as other kids. You know how kids are. They might think he'll come back and get me because he did what everybody does. If you tell anybody, I'll kill your whole family. He did that to that young man.
And you said...
I said that if I don't even want to speak that, but I don't think that she was wrong for what she did.
No, she wasn't wrong.
She wasn't wrong at all.
No.
I mean, when you protect your kids, see, that's the thing about like trying to protect your kids. You want to even prevent them from being in those situations. Like
at Christian camp, though, you wouldn't let your kids go to a Christian camp.
No matter what kind of camp it is.
Football camps every summer. Basketball camps, football camps. What's the difference?
You gotta say,
Christian camp.
What does a Christian?
Really think
if it's called a Christian camp, what does that mean? Just that word in front of camp. What does it mean?
Well, you would think that the people there were more, holier than thou.
You think that
versus
you think
somebody
Christians
at a football camp who probably smokes and listens to rap.
You don't think it's fake Christians?
I do know there's.
So then, you being blind to yourself, you think just because you being blind to facts, if you think that just because somebody say they're something, that they're actually something.
No. I didn't say that I believe or disbelieve. I'm saying that she trusted the fact because it was a Christian.
You shouldn't trust people.
And this was back in the 50s or 60s.
The fact of the matter is people are people no matter what title they give themselves. They still people. You have degenerate Christians.
People feel more safe. Just like when you feel like you're being attacked or if you have a disturbance in your home, that's something that's not human, where do you go first? You're going to go to the church.
You have you go to God. That's
where,
what you don't go to people. That's where people make. This is what people make the mistake of.
Source from his church.
When you put a man in the place of God and expect that person to do God things, it's just people. There's just degenerate Christians, degenerate Muslims, degenerate atheists. So if you allow yourself to look at somebody like they're holier than thou just because they put a title in front of their name, You putting a false hope and a false trust in a man.
That's to your beliefs, but
That's
there are
that's
so many
just
different
logic.
types of religions.
That's
and
just
beliefs.
logic. That's not
really,
a belief
because somebody
issue.
might think that you're crazy because that's the way you think.
Let's just be honest. Let's just be frank. Just me and you talking. And
Just me.
Just me.
I
and you
agree
talking.
with what you say.
Well, I mean,
I know there's like my family wouldn't. They wouldn't agree with that. I have different beliefs than what I was raised to believe.
Some
I
people
branched off in my age.
But the thing is, I'm saying that people are people no matter what title they are. That's all I'm saying right there. And if somebody disbelieves
you don't send your kids to school and believe that they'll be safe in the classroom with your teacher.
I hope they're safe.
Yeah.
I don't believe they'll
Why
be
don't you
safe.
do
I hope they'll be
homeschooling?
safe. Because I'm not
Why
capable.
take that chance?
Because I'm not capable
Why
of
aren't you
homeschooling.
capable?
Because I don't teach.
Because you don't want to.
Exactly. And that
Because you
if
don't
I don't want to do something, that makes me incapable.
So, not saying that you are, but the way it sounds is you would rather put your child in an iffy situation and take a stand.
I don't see it as an iffy situation.
Life is iffy anyway,
It's
though.
like, hold on. It's like if you get in a car, you don't think you're gonna fucking crash.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
a
what I'm saying.
possibility.
Life is
Okay.
iffy.
There's a lot of
It's
people
a
who don't
difference.
drive.
It's a difference between probability and possibility.
So
that's what
exactly.
you gotta understand.
So she
listen,
probably did not think that her son,
it's
considering
possible.
the fact that it was a Christian camp, was going to be molested there. That's the whole
Just because
point.
something can possibly happen, don't
Just
mean
like
that
it could happen at school. It could happen at school.
I understand what you're saying. Just listen for a second. Just because something possibly can happen, don't mean it probably will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
odds.
I'm not disagreeing, but you're detracting away.
I'm not
You're
detracting.
retracting away from what I'm saying.
I understand the point you're making.
Okay.
I agree with the point, but my disagreement comes in where I'm saying that a person is foolish to think that.
I didn't say they weren't.
I'm saying that they're foolish to think that just because somebody has a title or they supposedly follow something that the child is automatically safe.
a lot of
And when it
people
boils down to it, your child's safety, what you do, you put your child in the best position that you can put them in. You don't have faith in a situation like it's 100% child proof to where nothing can happen. There's a lot of people who put their children on school buses and the bus fucking crashed and the children died, but
Right, just like
they
people
didn't.
send their kids
It's
to
a
daycare,
possibility,
and later
but it
on, months
wasn't.
down the road, the kid dies, or you see your kid getting beat on a camera in daycare. Nobody thinks that will ever happen.
That's what I said. Life is iffy.
It's a possibility that can happen, but it's not a probability that it can. You have to understand those two distinctions and shit to understand what I'm saying.
What's the difference that
Possible,
you're saying?
possible is that it possibly can happen. I
Anything
possibly could just fucking like let's just say this for instance. Somebody who's in super good shape, work out all the time. It's a possibility that they can have a heart disease and have a heart attack and pass away. But being that they take care of themselves and they're in tune with health and diet and exercise, it's not probable that they'll die from a heart attack.
Why is that? Because you're going off of that they are health conscious, or off of the way they look? Because there are people who look a certain way that take steroids.
This is what I'm telling you. A person who's health conscious and diet conscious don't take steroids. So I keep telling y'all that I can't keep using.
True, man.
Y'all
How
can't
do you know
listen.
this?
Hold on. We go to your point.
How do you know this
Listen.
from looking at them?
You said a fully.
Wait,
Hold on.
we all can't talk
Hold
at the same
on.
time. I gotta make my point before we go on. I'm saying you can't keep adding abnormal situations to twist and turn to make it fit your point. If I say somebody's healthy, then they're not using steroids or any
But
drugs.
that's just what you did when
I
made
didn't.
my statement.
What did I do?
Christian.
Hold on. What did I do?
Hold on, let him talk. Because
No, go ahead with your point.
To go to her point, she said you said a fully what Christian?
A fully devoted Christian.
Okay, a
A
fully devoted.
Christian ain't gonna be
You
fucking
don't-
kids.
Yeah, a
But
fully
you don't
devoted.
know that. How do you
No,
know?
if they're fully
How do you
devoted, they're
know?
not going to do it. A
But
fully
how do you
devoted.
know?
Listen, 'cause-
you can have somebody looking the same.
Hold on,
Okay,
don't
you
say
can
shit.
have
Don't
you
say
can have
shit.
A and B, and A looks just like B. They both say the same thing.
It's a mind.
But B
It's
is
in the
actually
mind.
a predator.
It's
but
in the head.
he mimics what A does.
It's in
so
the
that
head.
he can drive you in.
Just if we dress alike, we can dress alike, we can look alike, we can move alike. Our minds ain't gonna think alike.
Exactly.
So
I'm asking
that's
this.
where it
how
boils
would
down
you know
to.
that we're any different unless you actually sit down and
I'm
medicine
asking-
and pulled up their criminal
and you-
record?
Oh, let me answer this real quick. I'm gonna ask you this, and I want you to think about it before you answer. What does devout mean? When somebody's devoutly into something, what does it mean? Does it mean that they're
Maybe they're
what does devout mean to you?
Devout,
Yeah,
devoted.
is that what it means?
That was a question.
What does devout mean? When you say someone's a devout
I-
Christian, what's a devout
I
Christian?
said devoted Christian.
What's a devoted Christian?
Someone who practices what they read. They live that
And you-
way. They
okay.
try to be as holy as they can. They
And
try
then,
to live
okay,
like
thanks for your
Christ.
answer. Thanks for your answer. if you are a devoted Christian, you will not be molesting kids. There's
Point
no way
blank,
around.
period.
There's no way around
Say
that.
They are devoted.
I'm not saying. I'm not
No,
saying who says it.
You
I'm
can
saying
say
who
a lot.
actually is.
I'm a millionaire. That don't mean I am. If you live a devoted life as a Christian, you're not going point blank period. You're not going to molest kids. That's point blank period.
But how do people know that?
It's something you don't know. But
You will never know.
But I'm
Exactly.
saying, but if
So
you
wouldn't
are
know
one,
what type of situation you're. That was my whole thing. Is that tourists was saying, well, then everybody ain't this and everybody, but you don't know that. You just go off. You're going off of faith and trusting from what you have came across in a encounter with this person. You don't know, and then half the time, who meets the people in the kitchen? Nobody meets the people in the kitchen when you send your kids somewhere. If you send them to a camp, so
This to move on from this point, I'm to make this statement. If someone is about what they say they're about, they won't be opposite of that.
okay.
And I'm not saying like it's people who might pretend to be something, but I'm talking about when you're actually that, you don't veer off that.
How does that help the situation though? When somebody can say
That's when you
they're
have to use it.
everything, and then they end up not, and then the damage is already done.
And then but
Whose
it's
fault is that?
It's
nobody's fault.
No,
It's-
it's a lot of people to blame.
how you figure on that?
First off, it's the fucking person who did it.
Well, I was gonna say that's the only
Yeah,
person
they're
whose
at
fault
fault.
it is. It's not the victim. It's not the parent, because you don't know. You don't know
Where you
what
get con artists from. That's how
you don't
people-
know what people think. Like, it's 4 people in this room. I don't know what y'all thinking. Like, we can talk, but you don't know what's going on in somebody's
Right. You
head.
can
So
ask me what
the
I'm
only
thinking,
person,
I tell you what I want you to think.
the only person that's at fault is the actual person that does it. Unless you knowingly know, like, okay, if you know that I'm a child molester and then you let me watch your kids and I do it, you at blame too.
Right.
But
you just as wrong.
But if you don't know, then it's only person.
Lost in translation, it's not your fault.
Only fault it is the person that does it.
And so if you take it in your hands and decide to go and do what you got to do, and you might have to go away for a little while, then what's wrong with that?
We never said nothing was wrong with it. It's just that's the type of world we live in. I mean,
So one person taking a stand gets frowned on. Going back to the football player.
What do you mean? I mean, and this goes
taking
back.
justice into your own hands, taking a stand. That's how it's spun out.
And this is what I say when I say I go back to the point of things are changing a bit, because even with the biased news reports, like at first they tried to just show it one way where they just he just disrespecting all the soldiers and mad. Where I know a lot of people who are veterans, soldiers, they weren't angry at all. They identified.
But,
so no, listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying like it didn't go exactly how they were. There's a lot of people who are in the Army right now in active duty who were posting pictures saying like, we agree with you, hashtag Kaepernick, or they post pictures to where they're like, my father, he fought in World War II, he still came back here and he was mistreated. Or they bring up the fact that Muhammad Ali and Jackie Robinson, who white America laws now as heroes, were fucking crucified just like Colin Kaepernick, but more so on a more blatant level where it wasn't so much. Well, you had the racism, but it's like from people who don't have a fucking face, people on Twitter who you'll never see, but it was like figures and shit, and like public figures who spoke out against them. Jackie Robinson, he said at the time that he don't feel right standing for a national anthem for a country who won't accept him. He fought in the war for it. Muhammad Ali, he famously was fucking stripped of his heavyweight titles and threatened with prison because he didn't want to go to Vietnam and fight.
Right, I thought he went. Didn't he go?
Oh, Ali?
Yeah.
Hell no.
He didn't get locked up? I'm talking, he didn't get locked up?
I don't think he did. If he went to jail, he didn't do no serious time. He probably got processed, but he didn't go to jail.
Okay, I thought he got locked up.
But like, he felt like he shouldn't have to go to war. Like, they want you to actually go out here and die, potentially die, because they put a battery in your back and tell you out here being patriotic. But then you come here, you can possibly get killed for selling fucking CDs at the goddamn gas station.
People who are injured,
or just fucking laying. You sitting in the streets with a mentally retarded person, you trying to keep them safe, and you have nothing in your fucking hands, and you get shot.
Right.
We the only people like they don't understand the disparity of what we deal with, like the dichotomy between white privilege and black injustice is so fucking distinct that it's sickening. And like we were just talking about, like Colin Kaepernick, he's speaking out against these things, and nobody's causing a fucking uproar about the Stanford swimmer who got released in jail early for he see the girl sleep behind the garbage can. He going over there and fuck her, and he's out of jail already. He did less than the 3 months he was sentenced.
He had first of all, he was given a short term.
Yeah.
Then he did half of it. It's like 3 months.